In this video, we're going to take a look at the window schedule for the student-built house project, and we're going to try to recreate this in Revit. It's got some pretty standard things, and it's got a couple of things that are a little bit different because we need to include them for what is required by our building inspectors. So in Revit, we have a window schedule that is pre-populated. If we scroll down a little bit in the project browser, we'll find a window schedule, and any windows that we've added to our project will be listed here. But the window schedule that's provided has got lots of columns that we don't need, and it's got other columns missing that we definitely want to make sure that we show. So look at the example plans to see exactly what should be here, and we're going to actually remove some things. But with the window schedule selected, I can click on the property window over here. I can click on edit fields, and I can look at all the fields that are here and get the correct ones. So I am going to remove the width and height fields. These are the actual width and height of the window, and I'm going to want my rough opening width and height, which is something different. I'm going to remove the description. I'm going to remove the material, the finish, the head, jamb, and sill. I'm going to remove glazing thickness, glazing type, and head height. So lots of this is coming out. And then I'm going to find a few things from this list that I want to add. I definitely want to have my type mark in there, and I definitely want to keep the comments. But I'm also going to be looking for manufacturer, designation, count, rough height. I'm going to actually create 3 custom columns here, which I'll show you how to do once I have everything else. So I've grabbed the rough height field, and that I can use just as is. But I'm actually going to have to create a custom column for the rough width because a couple of my windows, specifically the double windows, those parameters are not going to populate how I want them to be, and I'm not going to be able to edit them unless I'm working in a custom parameter. So I won't be able to name it rough width because that already exists, but I can name it rough width with a little asterisk so that it is something different. And it's going to be, the type of data is going to be length, so I'll keep that. And I'm going to check the box to make this apply to each type of window, not each instance of window. So I'll click OK, and now I have my rough width column. And I'm going to also make new parameters for the glass area and the vent area, because we won't find those on our list here, but they are required. Now, before I click OK, this is the place where I need to be able to reorder things. So the top of this list is what we'll see on the left, and the bottom is what we'll see on the right. So I'm going to check again against my building plans and put them in this order. Type mark, manufacturer, designation, count, comments. And then rough height, rough width, glass area, and vent area. So I click OK. My entire window schedule updates. And now I have some information to populate in here. One thing you might notice is this is not sorting in numerical order by type mark as it should. So to change that, I can come over to where it says sorting and grouping, and I can click edit, and I can sort by type mark, and I'll uncheck this box that is going to itemize every instance. And what that's going to do is to combine any duplicate windows. Anything that has a count of 2 is going to get combined down into a single line. It makes my table a little bit smaller. I'm also going to reformat some of these columns a little bit to make sure that everything displays well. So some of these columns are going to be editable and others aren't. The comment section, I can actually click here and I can type. The rough width and glass area and vent area, all these custom columns that I made, I can come in here and I can type. And for these ones, we will need to pull the information over from the example plans and actually type in the values because these parameters are not going to automatically populate. And again, mainly here, we're having to do this for the rough width because of the double windows here and here, number 30 and 34. Also, the count is going to indicate that there's 2 of these and we can't change that. So that's why we have the comment section in here so that we can specify that this is a single double window. Once we have all the information populated here in the window schedule, we can go back to our cover sheet, and we should be able to drag the window schedule onto the cover sheet and place it. And from here, again, if the formatting looks off at all, this is the opportunity to change column widths and better sort and organize to make everything look right. Now, on the architectural floor plan, we need to make our window marks, our type marks for the windows, and those we need to make sure that those correspond to our window schedule. So if I click the Annotate tab and I come over to Tag by Category, I can then click on each of my windows and I can place the type mark for the windows. And from here, I would double check to make sure that the type marks that I have here actually match what is in my window schedule. So far they do. And then I would start to organize a little bit. So for these double windows, we have to be a little bit crafty with how we organize these to put the type mark right in the middle. I like to bring these to the outside of the building so that they're not clogging up our floor plan. And double check to make sure things are not overlapping and getting crossed and everything reads well. If your type marks come in looking different than this, if the numbers maybe don't correspond to your window schedule, or if it has additional information that you didn't actually want, you can double click on the type marks. You can click Edit Family, and we can make sure that this says what we want it to say. We can edit this field and we can remove any extra information that we don't want to see here. When I click this label here, I can edit the label and I can make sure that the parameter that is shown is type mark. That's going to be important here that we have type mark. And the other thing that you might need to do is for the windows that share a designation, and that would be the TW3442, which we see here as a number 31 and as number 34. The 34s are the double window on the front of the house. The 31s are a single window that's found elsewhere on the dining room. So in your model, you've got to actually create a duplicate type of that window. You don't have to change anything about it. You just have to create a duplicate type so that the type mark is different for this window than it is for these two.